cut to 13 points at the very top, and you can see there Arsenal 5 adrift of the top 4. They've also played a game more, which really highlights the importance not just of picking up wins in the Premier League, but also the importance of the Europa League for them as well now. Because of course, win that and they'll be back in the Champions League next season, regardless of where they finish in the league. Everton 10th to that. They started the day 9th. So they drop a position, and it was a painful day all round for the Blues. At the very bottom, well, as you've already heard, Swansea the only side in the bottom 4 to pick up a point today, and look at that, 11th to 19th, separated by just 3 points. Watford there on 27, down to Huddersfield, who sit 19th on 24. Right, there's plenty more sport if that's your thing here on... Welcome back to what was a 5-star performance.
Cheers, man.
Well played. Well done to Aaron Ramsey, well done to all 3 of them. Arsenal fans here had a little glimpse into the future today, didn't they? And it looks good.
Well, Mkhitaryan's given him the Man of the Match award there, and he's also given him plenty of opportunities to score goals. And really that's what Ramsey's done. He's cashed in on the extra space that's been created. And I feel that, it's interesting, 3 assists today, only 5 at Manchester United, and already Wenger's getting more from him than Mourinho was able to do. And he's played with expression. There's a real quality on that ball, the way he wraps his foot round it, puts it into an area. Yes, it should be defended better, we know that. But they can only play what's there in front of them. And I felt these two, their relationship is exceptional. It's the movement, again, here. Could have been defended better, but it's well worked out. Arsenal on doing Sam Allardyce, his own game, really, set pieces. No one picking up correctly at the far post. Schoolboy defending, but they were ruthless enough to take advantage.
It was a recurring theme for Everton, wasn't it? The defending in the midfield.
Yeah, it was. The system was wrong. He tried to change it to a back 3, but the midfield 2 were outnumbered all day long. Arsenal all day just kept getting people to the side of them, behind them. Look at the space on the edge of the box. I mean, if you allow someone of Aaron Ramsey's ability, that time and space, he's making runs into the box today all day long, getting tap-ins. He's also getting shots from the edge of the box. Where is Everton's midfield? As this just gets switched to play, these should be sliding and stopping spaces and stopping passes going through. But look at the 2 midfielders behind Gay and behind Schneiderlin. Ozil comes out, so that allows a Ramsey to interchange and go behind. For 2 people to stop that for 90 minutes at Arsenal, it's virtually impossible. You need 3 people in there, if not 4, here at Arsenal, because that's what the masters are. The masters are getting people behind the midfield, and when they do, this is the problem.
They played the wrong system. We talk about it being collective. It's down to the manager as well. Sam Allardyce has picked a platform for the players to go and be embarrassed by Arsenal today. They didn't perform, of course, but the system was wrong. They were better in the second half. A little bit of pride was restored, but Arsenal were well and truly out.
I think by changing at half-time, Sam's admitted that he's got it wrong. Because if he believed in the 5, he'd had to go over his players and he'd have kept it the same. So by changing it straight away after 45 minutes, you're basically accepting that you've got your system wrong.
So what was his thinking then, yesterday or a couple of days ago at Finch Farm, when he decided that this was going to be the way to get the best out of this game? What was his intention?
I think he tried to pick a team to be compact and narrow and put people with pace in the line-up to cause Arsenal problems on the counter-attack. But you've got to make tackles and win the ball back and have people in the areas of the pitch to do that.
The distances,
what did he make? 3 tackles in the first half?
Unbelievable.
The distances were too big, there's too many gaps, there's too many space. And to be honest with you, I think they've been too respectful to Arsenal playing this.
So did Sam get it wrong then, or did the players just not do their job?
Maybe a bit of both.
Right.
Maybe a bit of both, but I think with him changing it at half-time, he had to change it at half-time because they were getting killed in midfield.
They played with 3 at the back earlier in the season, and they didn't look good under Koeman. And they don't look comfortable playing that. Mangala
they were better like this in the second half, actually.
They were more compact. I thought Davis came on and give them a little bit extra, and they effectively drew the second half, if you want to look at it from that point of view. They made a few tackles. I think the Evertonians watching it would have been disappointed, to say the least, that they weren't up for the fight. This is an unbelievable ball that he puts in here, and how that didn't go in the back. I mean, I think the goalkeeper eventually goes off injured from this collision. But it was better, more incisive. They were taking the game a little bit more, putting crosses into the box, testing Arsenal a little bit, and they managed to get one back, of course. But it was, it was poor from Everton. I think Kolasinac will look at this.
He got bullied at the back post.
Ground. Whether he's fit or not, I don't know. I saw him at half-time, looked injured to me. Maitland-Niles was an option. Maybe he should have played instead. But no, Everton were a long way short today.
What's Sam Allardyce learned from today then?
Don't play a back 5.
Yes, an obvious one. Anything else?
That some of his defenders are not good enough. I think he's obviously not happy with Keane to take him off at half-time. I think that's a big concern for Keane himself, who's trying to get in a World Cup squad. To get dragged at half-time is a worry. I'm not sure the full-backs are good enough. They need Coleman back lively. So yeah, I think defensively they've got problems. There was a big improvement at half-time. I think Davis helps him. He puts his foot in. He's a local kid. He knows what it's about to wear the shirt. Calvert-Lewin gives them energy and pace. I also just think they lacked a bit of experience today in that first half. You know, at 2-0 down, surely there's got to be someone out there that sends a message out to stop the rot, if you like. But with Wayne Rooney sitting on the bench, maybe they haven't got that type of player that can do that. So there's more than one problem for Everton at the moment. 1 win in 9. Which is relegation form. I think that when Sam come in, the lift and the points they've got from that thing could save them in the end, because moving forward, if they perform like that, they're in trouble.
And it's an important week for them. You know, there's like 7 of the starting lineup today are unrecognisable. They're all new players. They've got Rooney, Sigurdsson sitting on the bench. He's got to work out the formation he wants to play. We pretty well know what that's going to be, and sort out who are the best 11, and then take Everton forward.
They're not going to go down. They're not going to make Europe.
The home form will keep them up. You know, the win against Leicester, the fans, they've got a good set of fans that make noise, and it's a difficult place to go. But away from home, that's not good enough.
So it has to be the long-term planning now for Sam, doesn't it? That's what he needs to be focused on.
We're in a period of change for Everton. Yeah. You know, so for so long you looked at Baines and Coleman, Jagielka and people. They're making changes, and in that period, you know, they might go backwards before they go forward, but they need to get. I think Palace coming up next. They need to restore some pride. They need a whole lot better performance than that.
We can take a look now at the hat-trick goal for Aaron Ramsey, and in some ways, you know, he was brilliant today, but he was just allowed such a sort of free-flowing, free-roaming role through that midfield, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and I fell for the 2 Everton midfielders because I've been there myself and I've experienced playing at the Emirates and Highbury in a 2, and it's very, very difficult. Calvert-Lewin doesn't have to go to ground here. All he has to do is get his body in. Worst case scenario, give a throw-in away. So it's poor from him, but he's just allowed to pass it into the box. No one matches Aaron Ramsey's run, and it's basically a tap-in for someone of his quality.
I mean, you can look at the midfield player, Sneijder, and say he's not marking, but you know what happened to good old-fashioned marking in the box? Recognising danger. These are experienced defenders, and they're giving Ramsey so much space there. It was quite embarrassing.
And I don't think we sit here and criticise Everton and slate Everton for the entire post-match show, because if you're an Arsenal fan watching this, you're thinking, hold on a minute, look at the performance from my team today, let's talk about them. And the new faces settled in brilliantly, didn't they, today? They just look like they've been here for a couple of seasons, not a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, it was the perfect home debut. What was it, three assists Mkhitaryan got? I thought he was sensational today. His clever movement, his vision, and look at him here just fighting for the cause. And this is what Arsenal lack at times, because they have still got a bit of a soft underbelly, but today going forward they were exhilarating. That strike's very close. Unlucky, they caused Everton all sorts of problems all day long, and you know, this is what Arsenal are about. 1-2 touch stuff in the final third. They cut you to pieces, and that finish for me is world class.
I wonder how much a pension he's paying to De Bruyne and Salah, who've also left. A Mourinho manager that didn't seem that pleased. I think Mourinho knows he's a good player, but he's not been getting out of him the sort of stuff we're seeing today. Look at that vision. I know he's in acres of space, but he played with a confidence today, which is, I mean, as well as he played, I thought he reminded me of Robert Pires, the way he was not prepared to be a winger. He wanted to join in at all times.
And the relationship between Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang is something to get excited about in the long term. What did you make of Aubameyang today?
Very much so. The Arsenal fans should get excited about it. He gives them a different threat than Lacazette. He's quicker, he's more direct, he runs in behind more. He is very similar in many ways to Thierry Henry, although I wouldn't want to put that pressure on him straight away. That finish is top drawer, by the way.
So he enjoyed it, though.
And I think a big thing, what you've got to realise here, Jake, Sanchez going, who seemed to me from the outside that it was becoming toxic in the dressing room. And I think other players might have gone into the shell with the problems that he's causing. Him gone, as Martin said, it's a clean slate. Everyone else might get a bit of energy and a bit of confidence from that, and Arsenal might grow.
Hanging over the club, hasn't it? You know, will the manager stay? Will he go? And then the players, the key players, and all of a sudden, within 1 week, all of that's gone and you can start again. And Aubameyang there, the joy on his face, with those top strikers, there's an icy cool button they press. And this is my moment. Look at me, take a look at me, how good I am. And I think the Arsenal fans realise now they've got a top quality, top class centre forward. Long way to go, but a great start.
Absolutely. Good news for Arsenal fans. Good news for anybody that wants to see top players in the Premier League. He's a welcome arrival for sure. Right, after the break, we're going to get the reactions from both of the managers. And I can tell you now, Sam Allardyce has some very strong words. See you in a moment.
Our performance.
Thank you, Sam.
Cheers.
Well, he sounds angry, embarrassed. He almost sounds exasperated, doesn't he, with his squad?
Well, he's made the decision to throw that over to the players. We know it's always a collective thing, isn't it? You know, what was it, first half, 70% possession, Arsenal, because they just invited them on and they created the problem for themselves, in fairness. And had he have watched previous videos, I have to say, when Koeman played a 3, they were awful. Never would you have gone to a 3 with that group. It invited trouble. Too many new players in the side for that to really work. So it's a collective thing. But yeah, the players individually were poor, and it's about looking in the mirror, looking forward now. He's an experienced manager, and he's calling for the players to do that, and he wants a reaction.
What does it feel like as a manager, as a player, to hear your manager talk like that?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to look at yourself. Yeah. So if you're an Everton player, you've got to go home and say, what did I do today? How did I help my team today? And I think there's only Tom Davies and Theo Walcott for me who can maybe look back with any kind of pride and that they've delivered close to what a performance should look like. I think the rest of the Everton team should be embarrassed. I think they should self-reflect, and as the manager said, they need a reaction. I mean, they've got games, Jake. They play Palace, Watford, Burnley, Brighton, Stoke in the final games. They will get results to stay in this league. But Sam Allardyce prides himself on organisation, winning tackles, competing, winning headers, and today they were just all over the place first half. It was a catalogue of errors everywhere.
And set pieces. And you'd be looking, when you look at the league table, I know they're on 31 points, but you can see what a Swansea is doing. You know, how teams are West Ham and a Palace, how they've recovered. And how safe are they, Everton? He knows he's starting to play now. A succession of these fixtures will be against the teams at the bottom, and he needs to get 3 points from somewhere. I think he's done the right thing there in taking Theo Walcott off, just to protect him a little bit.
What would it have been like for Theo today?
A difficult day. As we said before, he was turning up at the party, the welcoming party, for 2 players that, you know, big players for the future, and in a role that he couldn't really fulfil. If you're being absolutely honest, he played cameo performances for Arsenal, 400 appearances. An awful lot of them were off the bench. I don't know if he finished that many. It didn't quite happen for him, and today was another example of that. It does feel like a new beginning, though, for Arsenal. But from an Everton point of view, he's got to turn this ship around now because they're sinking fast.
Indeed, they are. Right. Let's hear now from Arsene Wenger. He's with Des.
Important. Thank you very much.
Well, it's job done for his side today. The question is, can they do it away from home? We're going to be covering Tottenham against Newport County on Wednesday evening from Wembley, and then you will get the answer to Arsenal away from home. Tottenham against Arsenal next Saturday from 11:30 in the morning. The North London derby live here on BT Sport, followed on the Sunday morning at 11:30 by Huddersfield against Bournemouth. 2 sides scrapping for their lives, and Bournemouth doing very well today. But we are here live until 9 o'clock tonight. Premier League tonight is up next, gentlemen. Thank you for your company so far. Stay where you are. Robbie Savage joins us. We're live straight after the break. See you